All right. Well, this is exciting.
It
This
is.
is our first podcast together, Homer and I. But also, it's exciting because this layout is sick. I was just telling Homer, I feel like I'm on Ellen right now. We might have a little scare tactic pop out behind them, but you don't know. So, I feel like I use the same introduction. This person here needs no introduction, but he does because he's an absolute stud. Homer and I met back in
2013?
2013. Yeah, we were part of the Vima days.
That's right.
Vima, which we'll get into, definitely a vehicle that changed my life, and
Same, same.
honestly wouldn't be here today without it. But Homer and I, we've been working together now for shoot, I'd say 3 years,
Yeah, at
at
least three
least
years.
3 years. He owns a very well-known, successful roofing company in the Dallas area. Do you call it Dallas proper? Is that what people call it? Like
DFW,
Dallas,
DFW,
DFW.
DFW.
And, we were looking for a professional that could help us fulfill a lot of our contracts. And it's been super cool since we've just built this working relationship. We've now decided to just merge as one entity under the Cool Roofs umbrella just to continue to grow our footprint. But I mean, overall, just to extend our leadership. I mean, from our systems, our processes, our education to what we can do. It's just so cool now to see that we're getting the opportunity to partner and then just 10x together. It freaking excites the heck out of me. So tell me a little about yourself, Homer. Tell me what excites you about roofing, how you got into. We'll first start with this. How did you first get into roofing?
So getting into roofing, fresh out of high school, started working for my dad. My dad's always been a subcontractor, hardworking man. Immigrated from Mexico. I was born here in '93. So every summer I remember working construction with him. Every summer hit, my mom said, "Hey, you're gonna go to your dad's. You're gonna go work." All right, cool. So I worked all summer, every summer. Fast forward, graduated high school. I ended up wrecking my truck that my dad gifted me.
Oh
My
gosh.
senior year, he's like, "Hey, here goes your truck, cool." My dumb ass on my phone wrecked it. So I'm like, "All right, dad, I'm back square one." He's like, "All right, well, come work for me." So I went to work for him, fresh out of high school, and started off as a subcontractor installing roofs. Did that for 2 years under his umbrella, and then yeah, just figured out my own thing. Figured, hey man, you know what? I know how to install them. Let me learn how to sell them. So I started getting into sales after that. But yeah, I got introduced to construction from my dad. So a little bit of everything, but mostly roofing.
Yeah,
So
and you talked about that. There's a really cool story you told me earlier.
mhm.
There's good money in sub and
Mhm.
like doing the work and performing it, but there's great money in sales. And I kind of look
Exactly.
at it, you're paid for time when
Yep.
you're a sub, you're
Yep.
paid for value when you're a sales rep, just assuring, because you
Mhm.
check a lot more boxes. You
For
assure the
sure.
job's, good start to finish.
Mhm.
Um, Tell us a story though about how you did get into roofing for yourself based upon the project you were doing, how you went to
So
the bank and
yeah. So basically, people ask me, so how did you come up with the name Panther? Panther. Where did that come from? It actually came from my dad. That was his doing business as was Panther Home Improvements back in the day. And that's what I always thought because he even had the truck, his trailer wrapped in Panther. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then, long story short, I sold the job to a realtor, and the realtor's like, hey, give us the quote. Once you finish the roof, we'll pay you at closing. And I was new to that. I never knew that you could, pay for the roof at closing. So we went ahead, did it. Go to the title company. I get the checks made out to Panther Home Improvement. So I'm like, okay, cool. I call my dad. I'm 18 years old. I already had my own bank account, but only personal. So I go to my dad's bank, try to go deposit the check. They're like, well, you can't deposit it. I'm like, why? It's made out to a business. And I'm like, I call my dad. Hey, dad, I can't deposit the check. Saying it's made out to a business. Yours only personal. He's like, I don't know, son. Figure it out. Hangs up. And I'm like, well, damn, what do I do? So lady's like, well, do you have an account? I'm like, I have an account, but not a business account. So who owns Panther? I'm like, I thought my dad did. So long story short, she's like, hey, go downtown Dallas, get your DBA. Hopefully it's not taken. Thank God it wasn't taken. So I'll go down, rush down to downtown, come back up to Wells Fargo, open up my first ever business account at 18, made out to Panther Home Improvement. So I was doing business as Panther Home Improvement. So that's kind of how I inherited the Panther name. So that's basically how I started my own business. Was like that. Was my dad was like, hey, figure it out, and I had to figure it out.
that's so funny because dude,
Yeah.
and that's just leadership from a parent. Like my dad did the same thing when I first got into roofing. He's like, look, like I remember we did Vima.
Mhm.
Vima, of course, crashed. I had too much month at the end of the money, meaning I needed to find
Yeah.
a way to make some money, as Jim Rome would say. And I called my dad and I was like, look, man, like, I don't know what to do. I'm not built for 9 to 5. I worked for a country club for a week and I got fired. And I don't know what to do. And he said, hey, I suggest you do door to door. And so I got on Craigslist.
Hmm.
I found a job opportunity that was roofing sales, outside sales, New Braunfels, Texas, and I took it. And that's what I love about business and like our influence from our
Hmm.
parents is like, if they would have said, hey, we're going to do this, this, and this, and they give you tasks to do rather than like, hey, go figure it out, just do
Hmm.
this, I don't think we would ever become the person we are today
Exactly.
based off that
Hmm.
experience. So, no, it's cool. What was your takeaway from Vima?
I think mostly was the personal development.
Yeah.
That's the part that I didn't really understand at first. Like I knew how to be a good worker, show up, get the job done, do it properly, but never like the mindset growth. And then just getting introduced to that at a very young, I was like 18, 19. Getting introduced to that at a young age was like honestly a blessing because I'm like, I know nobody really teach you that, especially like coming back from like Hispanic, Mexican culture is kind of more of like, hey, figure it out on your own. You're a man, figure it out on your own. So it's very, self push yourself. But when I got into self development, then I was just like a whole different ball game. I was like, wow. So really, just grateful for that. Learning a lot about myself, mindset, business mindset, all that good stuff. So eternally grateful for that for sure. And obviously, I mean, also woke me up to being healthier options of energy drinks. Back then, I used to drink Red Bulls, Monsters, sugary shit, and now I watch what I drink, what you consume. So that helped me out a lot too, was with the nutrition and the business mindset. So it was just a win-win
100.
mostly.
Yeah, and I
Uh,
I honestly think looking back though now, I don't think it really was a healthy energy drink. So
right, right.
it
Well, they had
said
the vitamin. I
it
was sold
said
on the
yeah.
vitamins,
Oh
but
yeah, Vima vitamins, essential mineral,
mhm,
mangosteen, and aloe.
that's
Like, dude,
right.
that was like the one thing about Vima that like programmed my mind is like my work ethic towards like cool roofs. I
Hmm.
mean, my fiance is the most amazing woman in the world because I'm just nonstop thinking about how we've grown this thing, how we dominate it. And I think that work ethic came from the culture
Hmm.
that was provided in Vima. And I mean, you just walked into my office, you see my painting. I've got a painting of me with, Bob Proctor, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, my dad, Les Brown, and I think Jim Rohn. I forget if I had said
Hmm.
him or not, but all those people I met other than my father, but my father influenced me to go do Vima. Like I remember a
Hmm.
lot of people would go to their parents be like, I got
Yeah, they're
this
like,
network
hell no,
marketing
don't do that
opportunity,
shit.
and they're like,
Yeah.
hell no. My dad's like, dude, I
My
think
dad was the
that's
same way, man. My dad
yeah.
would talk so much shit.
Oh, he would? Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
my dad was the opposite though. My dad was like, yo, here's the
Yeah.
deal. Here's my card. I'm gonna be your first customer and let's build this together.
That's what's up.
And I think he knew that with experience and putting yourself in, non-comfortable
Hmm.
situations can create you to be that much better. Like if,
Yeah.
if people all if like a parental figure or a leader in your life is always swaying you away from becoming uncomfortable,
Mm.
I don't think you're truly going to experience life.
No, for sure.
It's all about just saying yes and seeing what
Yeah,
happens.
figuring it out. Yeah, it's definitely how my dad was. He pushed me into the pool and I figured out how to swim. Literally.
Yeah, I drowned, but they got
Yeah.
me. So no, I'm kidding. But so, I went from Vima to roofing. And for those of y'all, Vima was a network marketing company. It's how I met Trey Stafford. It's how I met Trey Martinez. Trey Stafford is our CFO. Trey Martinez is our CMO. It's honestly how I met a lot of significant people through Cool Roofs. It's how I met some of my best friends. I mean, I'm looking at my groomsmen at my wedding coming up, and a lot of them are people that I met through Vima. It's how I met Homer.
Shout
And
out BK.
yeah, shout out BK Barreco, dude. I saw him at Morton's event.
Oh, nice.
He was the CEO of Vima, and it cracked me up. I was like, "How you doing?" Because Morton's made like buku money now, and he's like, if I just had 1% off of everything that y'all went off and built and made, he's like, I'd be doing pretty well.
Nah, for real, dude. It's
But
yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing, man. It's all about like fulfillment. Like
Mm-hmm.
most people are excited about money. I think BK's true fulfillment came from like seeing all of us go and win
Mm-hmm.
based off his platform. It's what you talked about.
Yeah.
Like most kids between the age of 18 and like 25 don't have access towards personal development. We're
Mm-hmm.
all taught a certain way through college, through high school. about, you know, what to think, why we think it, what to do, go to college, get good grades. After good grades, go find a job, work 40 years,
Mm-hmm.
retire, go to Europe once, come back. It's like, that's not what I'm trying to do. And so when he opened my mind, switched my paradigm to like the reality of thinking for yourself, having the ability to create our personal lifestyle, dude, that was badass.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. That was like, to me, that was my college.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, dude. No, like being introduced, like my first event, I went to San Diego, met Bob Proctor. To me, that was just like an ultimate life hack. I was like, okay, once I got introduced to him, my second event, I think, was Tony Robbins.
Yep.
So it was just like so much. And then from there, I just like, man, I fell in love with it and I just couldn't stop since. So grow every day, man. I'll try to go at least one event a year. So I'm excited for this year too.
Dude, you're gonna have to come to Tony Robbins with us. We took like 17 of the guys, 16, 17, and it was truly the most emotional event of my life. But when I say emotional, like impactful, like
Yeah.
seeing everyone, we walked on fire together. We, you know, just Tony Robbins, like people were like, "What's the event? What'd you learn?" I'm like, "Look, dude, just watch my change, and if
Mm-hmm.
you see me change in any way, just go to the event. Like I'm
Yeah.
not here to be Tony and tell you everything I learned. I'm just gonna start being a better person and
Mm-hmm.
applying that knowledge because
No, yeah,
it's,
for
dude, it's
sure.
impactful."
Mm-hmm. Life changing, yeah. No, for sure.
So you went Vima, and then Vima you got into roof. Are you already in
I was
roofing?
already in roofing, yeah, but I was a subcontractor more. I was more on the field, and then I think Vima also kind of pushed me into just starting my own business. Because before I was like, kind of working under my father's wing. Uh, I was 18, 19 at the time, so I was kind of scared to branch off, do my own thing. But once, after Vima kind of crashed, like you said too, it was like sink or swim. What am I about to do? It's
Yep.
like, you know what? I'm gonna just grab the bull by the horns and just take it from here. My dad said the same thing too. He's like, hey man, I came to this country for y'all to thrive. And I'm eternally grateful for that, for this country for sure. Because without that, then I don't see myself. I can't see what else I would do besides being a business owner or in sales, like you said, door to door, something, man. Because it really is the land of opportunity.
Yeah, 100%. And so many people overlook that. Like I have so
Mm-hmm.
many friends who were born here. Obviously, we both do, and there's just a sense of laziness,
Mm-hmm.
laziness mixed with fear.
Yep.
Shout out, you brought up one of our good buddies who lives next to you, Colton
Mm-hmm.
Smith. He's worked corporate. And again, when I have nothing against corporate. Like if like as long as you're fulfilling your purpose, like we talk about, I always say success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal or
Ideal.
goal. So it's like you moving forward and progressing towards something that actually excites you, that
Yeah.
gets you up in the morning,
100%.
that creates an experience that you yourself
Mm-hmm.
enjoy. And if it doesn't do that, then like, I mean, bro, you only have one life. Like, why are
Literally.
you doing
Yeah.
it? So I was talking to Colton and he was like, "Man, I'm just like stuck within this corporate gig and I want to do something different." So I said, "Look, I'm going with my dad. We're going to Tony Robbins in West Palm Beach. You should come." And he's like, "Man, I don't know. It's a little expensive." And I'm like, "No, bro. I'm like, this investment that you're going to make for yourself will change the course of everything for you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you what to do, but I can just suggest you need to be there."
Yep.
So he came, and in January I get a text, and actually no, this he texted me things are going well. I got into wholesale. I'm loving it. And when I was just in Europe, he texted me. He called me like 3 times. I'm like, "Hey, I'm in Europe. I'm where my feet are. I'll call you when I get back." And he texted me and he said, "Hey, I just want you to know I want to thank you for convincing me to go to that event because now I am leaving corporate America and going full time on my dream and crushing
Mm.
it." So
That's what it's all about.
it's all about.
Yeah, man. No, shout out Colton, man. That's my dog.
Yeah, I know.
That's
It's your
like that's my
neighbor
neighbor right
too.
there too. Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So we tell me like what as we talk about personal development, we talk about roofing, like what excites you most about this industry?
The leadership opportunity. Um, just being able to lead a wolf pack of, hungry people that want to just grow. That's kind of where I was at, looking for that leadership, learn how to, help people. Like I said, I get a thrill, like you said, like, helping people succeed, man, leading the way and just, walking the walk. And yeah, dude, ultimately just leadership
I
to
love
me.
that.
Yeah.
And it's such an easy industry to have that leadership
Yeah.
because first off, everyone has a roof.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to significant storms, especially in Dallas that you have, I always tell my reps, I'm like, dude, it's either us or it's them.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure it's us. Just go out
Exactly.
there And we always say sales is just a contact sport. You
Yeah.
just need to contact enough people and you can be successful. And that's why I love roofing. Like you have a problem, we bring a solution, but we bring and derive that solution, educate it that much better
Hmm.
than our competition where it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for sure.
that's very duplicatable, you
Yep.
know?
Yeah, yeah, it can be. Like I said, ultimately, like just leading with integrity too is just very tough, especially in this industry. It's very cutthroat. People stab you in the back. I mean, you've been stabbed in the back before. I got sued at 19. People don't want to pay for the roof sometimes, but yeah, integrity, man. That's the one thing I look for in this industry. And honestly, like I said, I'm grateful I found it in Cool Roofs. You guys, the most transparent, integrity's there, the leadership's there, the culture's there. So yeah, I'm excited for that too.
Yeah, and let's like talk about that. Like we talk
Hmm.
about the industry, Cool Roofs, it's not just my baby. Like it is just well respected and loved by so many of our amazing leaders. And I think you nailed it. Like leadership is the reason as to why we've doubled every single year. And that's just doubling in revenue. But people are like, oh, it's so awesome. Like the only way that I look at revenue is just by saying revenue equals the amount of people that we have the opportunity to provide value
Mm,
to by solving their problems, by offering the utmost of solutions.
yeah,
So the more revenue we do, the more people we help.
that's right.
And that's how I look at it a little different. But like what truly does excite you about, you've worked hard, you've built a brand, you built a company, and now you're at this point where you're like, wow, I'm just gonna merge over to the Cool Roofs umbrella,
Hmm.
which is super cool. And we're very grateful for that because we know what we can do to help take it that next step. And just working with you, it's just,
Hmm.
there's a dream. But what does that mean to you? Like, what about that excites you most?
I guess just helping each other out, really, because like I said, out here in this industry, you're kind of out here by yourself. If you don't have a team, you're out here on your own, which is kind of how I am right now, just out here kind of on my own. But really, just joining the team, being a part of the culture, growing more. I know there's a lot more to learn in this industry. Like I said, I'm very familiar with residential, not very familiar with commercial. I'm excited to take that to the next level as well. But yeah, just integrating what I know and just learning more and see how I can help you guys just as much as y'all are helping me out. We're both gonna. I think if it's gonna be a really great partnership. I'm honestly really excited.
And I love that, dude. We always say at our company, I work on me for you and you work on you for me. And as
Hmm.
long as we work on each other, we're
Exactly.
going to achieve our overall dream and our mission. Now, you said something pretty interesting. I want to get your opinion on this. So we have a podcast next week
Hmm.
um, with the RCAT lobbyists. And RCAT is a Residential Contracting Association of Texas Roofers.
Hmm.
So for our viewers that don't know, you don't have to have a license in the state of Texas
Correct.
in order to be a roofer. We just took what we call the NASCLA, and the NASCLA opens us up to 18 different states. So currently we're opening it up New Mexico, Arkansas, North Carolina, Mississippi, and then getting our GC license for commercial development in Tennessee.
Let's fucking
So
go.
yeah,
Let's
I know.
fucking
Yeah,
go, man.
so all super exciting
Yeah.
stuff, but the process, like we have one specific individual in our company who's specifically focused on creating this and making it a reality, jumping through the hoops, the tape. Like, first you take the NASCLA. It's a 28 book exam. It's crazy. And it's not just over roofing, it's
Yeah.
over like concrete, framing, structural, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So he passed that. And then once he passed that, each state made him take a business law exam. So he went and took each business law exam. And then each state also has different requirements, different bonds, different insurance, license, all kinds of stuff.
Mm.
And then we look at Texas, and it's just like if you have a pulse and you have an
Yep.
ID, you
Yeah.
can go roofing.
Literally.
So for me, I'm talking to this RCAT lady, and I'm like, look, we really need to put some regulation here in Texas to fuel a better market that helps protect the homeowner.
Hmm.
What does that mean to you? I mean, do you see that as an issue up in Dallas, like contractors who are just really screwing over homeowners? Like, tell us a little bit as why do you think, if you do think so, why there
Yeah.
should be a license in Texas?
I'm 100% on that, man, because I'm like, I've run into homeowners that get burned by contractors. I'm having to come behind them. So and so took my check, didn't come back, start the roof. Yeah, dude, it's bad up in Dallas. Like, I'm in the Facebook group pages where homeowners are blasting the contractor came, got the deposit, completely dipped, or tore off the roof and just left. So no, I think it's a good solution for a very big problem, especially in DFW, because DFW, man, there's so many crooked contractors. I feel bad for these homeowners, but it's like you know how they say, just homeowners do your research, really, and this is gonna help out a lot, weed out all the bad people. But no, I love the solution, man. Like I said, I'm all about it, dude. Definitely, you know, get your licenses, get everything straightened out, because yeah, ultimately we gotta protect these homeowners because they're the ones paying our bills. You know,
100%.
they're the ones.
You always hear the horror story of, yeah, he took my deductible check
Mm-hmm.
or he took my first check. The lady at RCAT, I talked to her on the phone. I was like, what horror stories have you heard? And yeah, this is brought to you by Richard's Rainwater, by the
Mm-hmm.
way. And whatever coffee shop this is that we went to, it's phenomenal. But she was talking to these homeowners, and like one of the ladies simply told us, she's like, look, the roofer came out, looked at my roof, told me it was damaged, met with my insurance company. We
Mm-hmm.
got the documentation. They collected a first check plus my deductible. I didn't hear from them for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
She said, once I finally got a hold of them, they said, let me look up your information real quick. They said, oh, yes, we've actually come to conclusion that your roof is okay and that we will not needing to be replaced. And she goes, wait a minute, that was for my insurance to decide, not for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're the contractor to fix what the insurance told.
Yep.
And they said, no, we're the contractor of second opinion, and therefore we don't think you need to do it, and took her money. Crazy. And those
Damn.
stories happen
Yeah.
all the time.
Time. Yeah.
And so no wonder, like, in essence, when roofing comes up, it does get a bad rep,
Mm-hmm.
but I love it. And the reason I love it is because we can be the bright light in a dark industry
There you
that
go.
always leads what you were saying with
There you go.
honesty, integrity,
Mm-hmm.
and crushing it.
Oh yeah, man. I agree, dude. Yeah, it's bad. 'Cause DFW is bad, dude. It's every week I see somebody getting blasted for, not showing up or putting second grade shingles as well. So you get there's a lot of that going up there in Dallas too. People just putting shitty materials, like cutting corners.
What do you mean by that? Second
Second
hand?
grade. So those are the ones that they sell at so the shingles that don't pass the initial inspection, they ship them away, and these other people buy them for dirt cheap and resell them. So it's
Wow.
second runs. I think that's what it's called, second
Second run.
runs.
So they just
Yeah.
like have a couple bundles left over, drop them off, stack them
No,
all
no. So it's
together.
from I think the way it comes from is from the plant where they
Okay.
manufacture them. They put them on flatbeds and they tell them to go dispose of them, but they turn around and they go
They
and
sell
resell
them.
them. Yeah. So they're
Wow.
still packaged in the branding. It could be the IKO, it could be the GAF, but they'll have a sticker or they'll spray on them and say no good. And a lot of these contractors up in Dallas will buy for like 60 to 80 bucks a square for this cheap ass material, but so you get a lot of that too. So that's
Wow.
why that's why these roofers in DFW can sell so cheap because they're going and saving 30 bucks a square on these second run materials, and the homeowner don't even know it. They won't know until it's too late. The material comes out bad. Sometimes they get lucky and the material comes out good. So you get lucky with some batches, but
Yeah, and I wonder if the like say they have manufacturer defects. I wonder if
yeah,
the rep comes out and they're like, yeah, this
yeah,
is shouldn't have
they
been
they
done.
know they know because then if you have like let's say you put on a roof and the homeowner notices it's a bad batch, you can't do shit because you already put it on that list, the Tamco, they're not gonna come and pay for that roof. They're like, no, those are second runs. We didn't warranty those. So the material
Wow.
is sold as is. So it's as is material, no warranty on it. Just your labor if you put your labor warranty on it. But most of the times it's a cosmetic defect. Most of the time, so it still adheres fine. It's just a small cosmetic defect, either too much granules or the color's off a little bit. So it's nothing crazy, crazy bad, but it's they're second runs. You're not getting a warranty on that.
I
So
know there was a roofing company that so they called, there was a supply. This happened the day before 2 days before Christmas. This is a funny story. I never told this story on a podcast, but 2 days before Christmas, I get a phone call from our CFO.
mhm.
He said, "Hey, man, we haven't used this supply company XYZ, whatever the name is, in like a year and a half." And he's like, "Who's using them?" And I said, I mean, I'm not. Like, we use
Mhm.
SRS, ABC, whatever." I was like, we only use them because of a friend offered. And I was like, cool, we'll give him a shot. He left. So then, like, we told him to close out the account. Well, someone called them and impersonated me, and 2 days before Christmas bought $96,000 worth of material. And then I finally called. We started catching on, and the guy's like mesmerized. He's like, "Wait a minute, like, so you weren't the one?" I was like, "Why would we not buy from you and within 2 days buy $96,000 worth of material. So we had to go through all that, work with the
Damn.
agents. It was a fun experience, but I bet that they went and sold those for pretty low or did whatever they did with them.
And they
But
actually picked up the material and took it?
oh yeah, they took it all. Yeah, took it all, and then they
Damn.
had like moving trucks come and pick it up. I'm like, did that
Wow.
not
That
stand
was
out
an
to you?
operation.
Like no cool roof
Golly.
trucks came to pick this up.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. So
Damn. Shit.
but you never know what happens in this. But all right, you say you never know what happens in the industry, but I
Yeah.
want to just say something. You never know what's going to happen in your day to day business.
Hmm.
And that's why I love business. It's always like problem versus solution and really just dealing with people's emotions,
Yep.
all reflecting back on leadership.
Hmm.
And so I get excited when we go into a new day because I watch these podcasts. Like I love the Tony Robbins. I love all these like Ed Milet. I love all these great people. But there's some newer guys who are like, look, man, I wake up at 6 a.m. Routine's the same every day. I have my cup of coffee. I work out. I go to the office. I do this. I'm like, no, you don't. Like,
Yeah.
if you truly were building a business at a
Yeah.
large scale or
Hmm.
whatever scale it may be, you never know what the day is going to bring. You can
Yep.
be disciplined and you can have your day set up, but something always comes up that you're just
Always.
like, got to
Always.
deal with this shit.
Yeah. No, for sure. 100%, man. Yeah.
So I know we just went on a huge tangent, but that's a business 101. I
Business
will say I have a
101.
good quote to drop. I heard this the other day. In building business, though, you have two options. You have the pain of discipline or you have the pain of regret.
Mm.
And I thought that was awesome.
Fire. Fire.
Yeah, we could just end the podcast right
Right.
there.
Clip that.
So, talk to me. Like, what are some goals now? Like, Panther Roofing, now under the umbrella of Cool Roofs, which first and foremost is a dream come true. Now we're locking in Dallas even more so,
Hmm.
bringing up our systems, our processes, our people. It's gonna be so much fun, dude. That's the definition of business is
Tell you,
fun.
man,
So I'm
Dallas,
looking
Dallas
forward to
is
that.
fun, bro. I love Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't bring me. You bring me down to Austin for a day, but I'm going back home.
I know, I was surprised. I thought we were gonna get you a hotel or something, hang out, but he's like,
Right.
I'm out of here.
That's right.
So I feel the same way about Dallas, though.
Yeah.
I mean, even going to the Cowboys games, it's like, I don't even want to talk about them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
what are you most excited about overall? I mean, I know we talked about the leadership side, but like, let's talk about some goals and what is that we can truly do in Dallas that's different than people who are already there right now.
Yeah, man. Like I said, just scale as big as we can. Shooting for 5 mil. You
Let's
know,
go.
that's my goal for the first year, man. 5 mil. Got to bring 5 million. And duplication too. You know, bring more winners, people that want to work with us, that want to grow. Become the leader that I'm thinking I could become, and just help as many people out.
No, I love that. And I think Dallas is the perfect market that's needing something like that because you
Yep.
got a lot of one-off roofers. You've got some of your big companies now. We even talked about this. A lot of the PE groups have
Hmm.
swooped in, did a bunch of roll-ups with some companies, and,
Yeah.
and they've really lost sight of the people business, and now it's in the number business.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
want to hit that bottom line,
Hmm.
and we need to take it back to the people business.
Yeah. No, for sure, man. Like I said, that's one fulfillment I get too from this is just helping a homeowner out. Especially after going through so much with the storms, all that. Fix the roof. They're ecstatic. They're happy that you did a good job. Their home is beautiful, and yeah, man, just that fulfillment of just having the homeowner being happy.
Yeah, I mean, and we also forget a lot of times that these are majority, I'd say like 90 plus percent, people's number one asset,
Hmm.
their number one investment is their home.
Yeah.
And so we're doing a big project to help protect them and just to be there to properly educate them along the way.
Yeah.
And there's so many facets when it comes to roofing, but I look at the middle part, which excites me the most, and I call it experience. Like, what customer experience can we build start to finish
Hmm.
to really create this? And that's what my dad always taught me when it came to business. He's like, look, man, all business is just like the food service industry.
Yep.
You all get your stuff from the same people,
Yep.
which is true.
Yeah.
Just like all the food service people get, there's
Hmm.
Benny Keith, there's Cisco, there's all these different production that bring the food, but he's like, it's how you prepare it and create the experience that separates
Mm,
your restaurant from the others.
that's true.
And so that's like my huge focal point is taking that, packaging it, and really offering it to the Dallas community.
No, for sure, man. Like I said, and I think Cool Roots is the perfect vehicle for that.
100% going from a penguin to a panther. I wonder which one would win in a fight. Probably a panther, but
Probably the Panther, depending on the environment.
take you down to Antarctica. Um, well, so let's talk about kind of our past. We started working. You've got phenomenal crews. How many roofs do you think you've done for us? Shoot, just since we've been rocking together.
Close to like one a week. So I say like at least, 50 to 70 roofs a year probably
Wow,
with you guys.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
That's
man.
just in Dallas only.
Yeah, just Dallas only.
That's
Yeah.
super cool. And
Yeah.
when we do those, I know you get the chance of working with Kevin. You work with Daniel. Even just working with the homeowners. I mean, I know you even mentioned one day that the products we use are always of quality.
Mhm.
The communication's always been there.
Yep.
Um, but shoot, that's super exciting. I didn't even know it was that much.
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Now,
do quite a bit, yeah. At least 50, yeah. 50 to 70, especially last year, yeah. Yeah, we're rocking last year, man.
I love that. Now, say, we rewind. If you were to tell your future self, tell yourself anything about when you first started in roofing, what would you tell them today?
To join the company, because like I said, I started off on my own, working for my dad, and then working for myself. So what I would tell my younger self is just, you know what, find a company that believes in what you believe in. Because I grew up, I didn't know anything about roofing business wise, just roofing installations I did. So what I would tell myself is just, find a company and start from the bottom up, you know, and yeah, just find a company that believes in what I believe in, that's integrity, honesty, and your workmanship too. So yeah, I'll tell them find a company and grow the relationship and either stick it with that company or you do your own thing. But like I said, I started off backwards. I started my own thing and I had to learn the tough way. I had to learn business my own way. I had to track my finances, do all that myself, my invoicing, my contracting, everything was doing it all myself. So if I could go back, I'd rather like start with a company and work my way through. That's what I would do differently.
Yeah, but it's all. But you also had like the greatest learning experience there is.
Oh yeah, for
Like,
sure. Yeah, I don't
y-
regret it. Like I said, I don't
no,
regret it. That would
yeah,
just be my advice to my 18, 19-year old self was, you know what, work with a company just so you can, I feel like it's not a shortcut, but it would have been a little bit easier, I think. A little
yeah.
bit easier. But yeah, that's what I would advise myself, my younger self, to be
It's
that.
it's so funny when you like it. It's not funny. It's very admirable to watch people grow business within an industry
Hmm.
because it looks so easy. It's like, oh, you just put roofs on.
Hmm.
But there's so much that goes into it, especially a part of scalability,
Yep.
that you have to have in place to really still provide great infrastructure
Hmm.
for this thing to grow. And one of the biggest things is cash flow.
For sure.
Like there's so many companies within our industry that go bankrupt or belly up because of the mismanagement of funds.
Yep. Exactly.
And I'm a mentor to quite a few roofing companies out there that come to me with advice and whatnot. A lot of them are assholes. They just ask for help, but they don't even
Yeah.
they don't take it.
Yeah.
And they have a good storm season, and I'm like, hey, don't buy the trucks. Don't get an office yet.
Hmm.
You don't need it, and they don't listen.
You know.
And the next thing they do, like, this thing doesn't work. And I was
Hmm.
like, no, like it was working,
Hmm.
but what you were doing wasn't working, and you spent too much.
Yeah.
Like he had too much month at the end of the money,
Yeah, that's
and
right.
and there's so many like insurance, for instance. Like
Hmm.
my gosh, dude, that was a huge learning lesson from us. Your two biggest expenses in roofing is labor and insurance.
Hmm.
I think it goes insurance and labor. And the more revenue that you do, the more insurance you have to pay.
Yep.
And at the end of the year, so anyone who's new to roofing, heads up, at the end of the year, they do an audit. So
Yep.
say you're like, hey, we're going to do 10 million at the beginning of the year and you do 20, that indifference, they're actually going to come back and
Hmm.
charge you
Yep.
and make you pay that for the year. And then at the same time, you're paying your down payment for the new insurance year. And
Yep.
it's just like a huge cluster. And it's usually around tax season too. So then
Yep.
you're paying taxes as well.
Yep.
So I always call it the holy crap moment of the year.
Yeah.
We're about to come up to, we're actually in it right now, where a
Yeah.
lot of companies tend to go belly up right about now.
Hmm. That sounds about right, man.
So,
Yeah.
so it's just like lack of education
Yep.
brings about bad opportunity.
Well.
Um, but dude, there's so many people that need what we have to offer
Hmm.
and will continue to. So we start Cool Roofs, Dallas, crushing it. That's exciting. what would you tell? So that was your past life. What would you tell someone who's in roofing right now that this advice that you give them would create their best year yet? Some things that you've learned along the way that will help them succeed tremendously.
Um, I'll say don't give up. You know, you're gonna have good seasons, you're gonna have bad seasons. Um, I'll say stick it through, continue learning, and don't forget about your past customers because sometimes we do roofs, you move on, call them back. You know,
Yeah.
a year later, 2 years later, hey, you know, so and so, Mr. Ramirez, you know, I did your roof. You know, how you been? Oh, I just thought about you actually, and then you know, boom, you get a referral off of that. You know, so that too would be like, you know, call your previous customers, man. We forget about them. I'm guilty of that too. I forget about them sometimes, but you know, just hit them up, and you'll realize, you know, how just you see how you doing. We'll brighten up their day. It'll spark an idea in their mind. They go to the next family meeting. They talk about you. 'Cause that's, you know, that's really where I feel like I would advise somebody that's in roofing now. Just, you know, you already took care of a customer. Go back, talk
Yeah.
to them, follow up with them, see how they're doing, see what's going on with them. If you're that's also like if you're absolutely stuck where you're not getting any new calls in, call them.
Yeah.
Call your previous customers, man. That'd probably be the best advice I could give anybody is if you're stuck, if you've plateaued, you don't have any appointments, call them up.
Yeah.
They'll have somebody like, hey, you know. So that'd be my advice to somebody that's in it right now. Just if you're stuck, you're plateaued, just call up your previous customers, man. You know, and you'll see you'll get something out of it.
It reminds me of that Wolf of Wall Street scene. Pick up the phone and start dialing.
Just start
Yeah.
dialing, man.
Pick up
Yeah.
the
If
phone
you
and
got
start
nobody to
dialing.
talk to, just call, you know, call Susan that you did her roof, you know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever, you
Yeah.
know. They'll be happy to hear from you. Like, oh, you're still doing it? Like, yeah, how's everybody? Boom, boom. And you
Yeah.
stay fresh in their mind and, you know, you never know what's gonna come from it.
Well, I mean that exemplifies who you are as a leader as
Yeah.
well, just as a great sales rep. The fact that you can pick up the phone and have that kind of conversation with the homeowner just
Yeah.
shows that you truly built a relationship with
Yep.
them.
Well,
Because homeowners, they don't care until they truly know how much you care.
exactly.
Is what I found
100%.
within this industry.
Yeah.
Like people don't buy roofs; they buy people selling the roofs because they buy the trust within you to assure that it's going to get done from start to finish.
Yeah.
And do we have this cool thing too? I don't even know if I told you about this. There's so much, but every single person that's in our CRM system, and
Hmm.
once we do their roof, even if we haven't done their roof, but they opt in, click this little box. It's called the Homeowners Protection Program.
Hmm.
So Trey, we've got a bunch of nerds that work at Cool Roofs, and I say that in a positive way. They're like, "Colt, look what we did. We built this thing," and I'm like, "All right, show me." My first response, like 90% of the stuff that they show me, is like, "I don't know how the hell you did that,"
Hmm.
but then of course I'm like, this is
Hmm.
amazing." So the homeowners protection program that the homeowner prompts into, of course, we do inspections, you know, bi-yearly just to assure everything's good, pipe jacks, penetrations, whatever. But in the event that they're hit with a hailstorm or a high windstorm and we did their roof or they're a customer, it automatically sends a professional email to the homeowner saying, hey, this is your representative at Cool Roofs. You're opted into our homeowners protection program. With that being said, last night at 11:52, you were hit with X
Hmm.
amount size hail. We have one of our representatives reaching out to you to schedule a homeowners protection guide inspection to assure that everything's fine.
Nice.
And then it also sends a message to the rep who sold it with the list of customers that were impacted by the high winds or the hail. And it's such a cool program because it gives our guys the opportunity to build a book of business
Hmm.
that they know is like, this is my customer base, this is who I take care of. And they can always go back to help them when in need. But we had a really unique story. Colt Rush was like sold a roof in Weatherford and or did an inspection and the lady didn't have any damage. He's like, look, here's the deal, your roof is fine.
Hmm.
It's just small damage. I'll do some little preventative maintenance on it, but you should opt in our homeowners protection program. So in the event that a storm does come, we'll take good care of you. She said that'd be fantastic. So homeowners protection program went off. He got the email. He reaches out to her, didn't get a hold of her, reaches out again, didn't get a hold of her, let the voicemail. And she called back. She's like, hey, I haven't had service. My family and I are actually away on vacation. We're on a cruise. I had no idea a storm happened. Can you please go check my house?
Hmm.
So Colt goes over there, checks the house. She's got 4 broken windows. The house is
Damn.
just rocked. And he goes ahead and lets her know, puts an inspection report together, sends it over, does all the temporary repairs.
Hmm.
And the lady was just absolutely ecstatic. And so what excited me is like, dude, we really did build a
Hmm.
system of value that truly took care of a homeowner who had no idea that something was going on,
Mm-hmm.
and we were able to give her peace of mind on vacation to be where her feet are and enjoy her time with her family.
Well,
So
yeah, man. That's what it's all about.
you see that being a value piece there
Hell,
in
hell yeah,
Dallas?
100%. Yeah, no, for sure, man. Yeah, because I gotta, yeah, that's a great tool for sure,
Yep.
for sure.
So that's good advice. Don't quit.
Mm-hmm.
That advice is just always stay connected with your
Yep.
homeowners. And then there's
Mm-hmm.
a tiered part too. You
Mm-hmm.
can reach out and say, hey, now we offer solar.
There you go.
You can reach out and say, now we offer the lighting, which we
Mm-hmm.
do. So there's just ways to, once someone trusts, likes, and respects you,
Mm-hmm.
solar might be a great opportunity for them, and they didn't even know that you did it. But I
Yeah.
guarantee they would want to buy it from you because they
Yep.
already had a good experience from you.
Exactly. 100%.
Anything else you'd share with them?
Um, invest back in yourself. Um, yeah, invest
Talk
in
about that. Why do
yourself.
you think that's so important?
Just because it's like you can get stuck in your own head, especially as a sales rep, you're knocking doors, you're by yourself in your truck, you get a lot of those thoughts in your head, like what am I doing? And I feel like self-development, kind of investing in yourself, helps out a lot. Kind of block out the black noise, the stuff you don't want to hear. Um, yeah, man, definitely invest in yourself. Don't be afraid to go to those events, go to networking events. Um, and yeah, for sure, man.
Give an example of why networking is so important.
Because you just never know what you like, how you could help that next person you're meeting.
Yep.
I like to meet people, see what they're doing, like how can I help you or how you can help me. Just people helping people to me is just ultimately what I think is the best value networking. Just see what they, how you can help each other. You know, yeah, because I go to a couple real estate events, here and there, but ultimately it's just like we provide. I feel like we provide a pretty good amount of value. How can we help you? Help your business. Even if we don't do business together, at least we could recommend a book, we could recommend a podcast, we could recommend something, just to help each other grow. But
And speaking of podcasts and books, what are some of your favorite podcasts or some of your favorite personal development coaches that you would suggest to someone?
number one, my favorite probably has, I wouldn't say a podcast show because I don't think he has a show, but it would be like Ty Lopez,
Ty Lopez. Yeah.
his stuff talking about knowledge. I don't read like I want to, but watching him, listening to him, marketing from him, he has a lot of good content. But first thing first would be I'll tell people, dig into Ty Lopez's content. He got me introduced to a lot of this stuff. Um, Tony Robbins, obviously, but yeah, like podcasts because he talks a lot. Ty Lopez talks a lot, so you want to watch as many podcasts as you can of his because he has a lot of good stuff to talk about. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I agree with that. A lot of people just take what those people bring to the marketplace and then say the same things, just
yeah,
branding it. So, like, I
yeah.
always say,
So
like, Tony and Jim,
yep,
Bob Proctor, like the OG source of information.
yep.
And now people just take that
Copy
and, like,
paste and mix
that's
it
why
up.
I always, like, try to be like, as Jim Rome says, or like as
Yeah,
Tony Robbins
yep,
says, but most people are like, haha, look at me. This is great knowledge. Bam. And you're like,
yeah.
that wasn't you. I know that's
Yeah, it's really
Tony.
like all these new marketing guys. Everybody got everything. I feel like everybody got everything from Ty Lopez. I feel like he's one of the OGs. Him, Gary Vee, of course. But yeah, like you said, people just copy paste and just make it their own.
Dude, so much marketing's BS. Like
Hmm.
we spent so much money on trying to find a good marketing company that I
Hmm.
finally said screw it and just hired Trey
Yeah,
Martinez in
yeah,
house, and he just dominates it, bro. I
yeah.
mean, our look, our feel, our brand, everything is just so sexy.
Invest in your people, man. That's what it's about. Investing in your people.
How'd you think of the Tony Robbins event that you went to?
It was great. It was
Yeah.
awesome, man. Yeah, I went to the GoPro event. That was what, 2016?
Was that the one in Vegas?
Yeah, the one in
I
Vegas.
was there.
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah.
Me and Cody Gregoric were there.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
when Coinbase, crypto,
Oh, dude.
everything was
Yeah,
starting to really pop
yeah.
off.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I went with Isaac. Remember Isaac Chacon?
Isaac Chacon.
My dog. Yeah, so I
No
went with
way.
him. We went to that event together.
You
Yeah,
still
that was my
connect with
first time
him?
in Vegas, huh?
You still connected
Oh
with
yeah, that
him?
was my dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just talking to him yesterday. That's my
Heck yeah.
boy.
How's he doing?
Good man, he's killing it. He's doing his podcasting too, health and wellness, his coaching. No, he's killing it, man.
Good for him, man.
That's my
Just
dog.
another success from Vima.
Yeah, another one. Yeah, yeah. He's the one. Yeah, really got me into like the whole health and wellness stuff. Still to this day, kind of keeps me in check, making sure we're eating right and shit like that.
No, heck yeah, I
Yeah.
get that. Well, No, it's exciting, man. I mean, the purpose that we do these podcasts is there's so many reps out there, business owners that are looking for a nugget or something that they can apply.
Yeah.
And knowledge is powerful, but it's applied knowledge. I mean, it's
Yeah.
taking things that you've learned, changing them, and really
Yep.
implementing them. And man, this is like our 18th podcast, I think. And every single time I do one, I learn so much. Um, Especially the one with Eddie. I don't know if you met Eddie the Roof Whisperer
Hmm.
in the office
I haven't seen
today.
the podcast yet, but
Oh, dude, you got to. I mean, it's really me just ask one question and then he just like spits all this knowledge about commercial roofing assembly,
hmm
applications, better applications for this or that. And it was funny, we were sitting here, like I used to drive around with Eddie and he'd be like, oh, I did that roof. And then we go, he did that roof. And I told that story here in the podcast and he just laughed. He's like, well, I did this roof too. Yeah, yeah. So I'm like, my gosh, dude, I can't
Yeah.
escape from
Yeah.
being under a roof that you've done.
Right.
I was like, let's check for leaks real quick. No, we're
Right.
good. So,
That's what's up, man.
but now before we wrap up, I mean, the hour flies by so quick. We'll end here shortly. But what are some insights or some things that you'd like to share on this podcast?
Um, yeah, man. Like anybody watching it in sales or thinking about getting into sales, dude, just do it. Um, worst case scenario, it'll be a great experience. You're gonna learn a lot. Don't be, like I said, don't be afraid of starting new. If it's something, like I said, if people want to come into roofing, come to roofing. Hit us up. We'll teach you as much as we know. If it's not roofing, get into something, man, that's gonna excite you. When you go home, you're excited to tell your kids about. You're excited about talking about your day. I'm excited when I get home. Talking about my day. Oh, I met so and so. I had this customer. They tell me this story, and um, yeah, man, and definitely just what you want to do, just do it, but do it with integrity.
Yep.
Do it. With what's as much as you can. Just put your blood, sweat, and tears into it, and just do it and watch it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be rewarding, and yeah, dude, whatever you want to do, just find a mentor as well. Find a mentor. My mentor was my dad.
Yep.
Shout out to him because he's the one that kept me in check. And that's another thing too is like, especially coming from Hispanic culture, they're very tough on us. Like
Yep.
dads, if with your kid, they're very tough, very disciplined. And to me, that helped me really just keep going, keep growing, and not stopping because like you don't want to stop because then dad's gonna call you like, what the fuck you doing?
Yeah.
Literally, that's weekly. My dad will call me, hey, where you working at? How many roofs are you doing?
Yep.
What's next? And it has nothing to do with it. Like business is all mine, but he still checks up on me, keeps me aligned. Making sure we're busy because he's a home builder too, so he's out on the field as well. So he's on me all the time, weekly. He calls me at least once or twice a week. See, what are you doing? What projects are you working on? How much are you pushing? And I like that. So for me, it would be if you don't have a father figure, find a mentor. And yeah, you just listen to them, man, and just be a sponge. They got people. Just a lot of people I've met that just want to talk to people. They don't have nobody to talk to.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely become a sponge and become coachable. And yeah, man, just go at it.
And it's true. A lot of us have fear to go out and find a mentor or reach
Hmm.
out to someone. And I've noticed that majority of the entrepreneurs or like successful people that I've met, and a lot of them are now part of my circle, they want to help. They want to give back. Like they
Hmm.
love the feeling of sharing that
Exactly.
important
Yeah.
information because they want to see people win.
Hmm.
And I know that's where you and I have a lot in common is like our fulfillment is not necessarily money. Our
Seeing people
overall
win.
fulfillment is creating a culture and environment where people can truly become their best self. And that's why I love what we've done at Cool Roofs. I mean, if
Hmm.
and it's crazy. Like our culture is so crazy that like towards success that you either get pushed up or you get pushed out.
Hmm.
And it's okay if you
Exactly.
get pushed out. Like this isn't for everyone.
Mm-mm.
We have a high retention rate, but the people that we do have, it's just a sickening culture of success, and it's
Yeah.
so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
So if you're in Dallas, if you've been in the industry for a while, if you are new to the industry, if you're not in sales and you want to get in sales, we're creating something super, super awesome in Dallas with the Cool Roofs brand. And it's going to be amazing. You don't want to miss out on this. You have some
Nope.
phenomenal leadership right here. You've got everything that Cool Roofs has to offer. And we'd love to make this your best year yet.
Let's go.
So that being said, we appreciate it, and thank you for tuning in. Of course, we always say this. I see this on YouTube videos that I watch. Please click the button below, subscribe for more content, more education, and just an opportunity to introduce the amazing people that we have on our team, and just to show the similarities or backgrounds that we've all come to. That's fueled by personal development, fueled by us sharing the same industry that's helped financially impact our lives. So yeah, go Cool Roos.
Go Cool Roos.
I gotta
Let's
go
go.
pause.